Do you see there a way of achieving testing that's verified but does not violate people's privacy or sense of freedom?
Absolutely. I think so. The way that right now in the United States, they're requesting that that the results get delivered to public health agencies. But I've long held that while that's ideal, it should never be the thing that holds up somebody being allowed to know their own status.
Yeah.
But if you are going to work and you have to let your boss or your manager, whomever, know that you were negative that day, or if you're going to school, I think it's going to be hard to maintain complete privacy in that situation because they need to know your name. But sure, I mean, could you cut off the public health reporting? Yes, you could. But I worry, I mean, can you opt out? Maybe you could opt out. That should be a feature. I want to opt out of the public health reporting because, for whatever reason, otherwise I'm not going to do the test. But that means that, okay, then you're not going to go to work. So right now there's this serious tension, and I am very uncomfortable with the idea that we force anyone to do anything, but there is a tension between these two things for sure. And how do you balance that during a public health emergency? I think first and foremost, everyone has a right to know their status.
Right.
The fact that we have made it hard for people to know their status on their terms, I think, is a travesty. I mean, it's just so terrible that we have prioritized us knowing at the expense of essentially what public health has long said during this pandemic is, if I'm public health, if I can't know, then you can't know your status. Like, that's not the right way to look at public health. We need to engage the public. And if some of them don't want to participate in the public health part, but want to know their status, by default, they are participating in public health, whether they know it or not, because they're not going to go get their mom sick by mistake. Right. At least most people wouldn't.
And then also you can create systems where you can, individuals can form relationships based on their status without ever reporting it to a centralized place. So you can go to, I don't know, a local business owner might require that you show that you're negative, but that doesn't require reporting it. You can, there might be basically like an ID that's only in possession. You are the only person in possession of that. So you literally show it.
Exactly.
Here's a test I took. It's negative. And nobody else knows about that test.
So that could very well be done, even through a company like eMed. I think, and I might be wrong here, I believe that they take the test result, and because they are considered a CLIA-waived laboratory, like a digital laboratory, they report their results by law out to the public health agencies. But let's say there was something a little different. Let's say you were verifying an over-the-counter test, and it doesn't have to be a CLIA waive because it's over the counter. Then you're not bound by CLIA rules. And you could create the same service, but that just doesn't report out to the public health agencies. It gives people the option to opt in or out of public health reporting. And, I know that public health people get a little queasy when I talk about this, but as a public health person myself, yes, of course, I would prefer that the data be available to evaluate, to know where the cases are. But first and foremost, I want to make sure that the people using the test are going to use the test. And if that means that they're not reporting, and if that's the only way that they will use it is if it's not reported, then that's better than no test. And
especially given that the central to the vaccine hesitancy is a distrust of authority and the distrust of government. So you're asking people to get tested and report their status to a centralized authority when they're clearly do not trust that authority. It doesn't make any sense. It seems like a perfect solution to let people who are hesitant on the vaccine to get their own status and have full control of that information and opt in, provide that information if they wish to, but they have the full control of it and they have the freedom to do with that information what they want.
I fully agree with that. I really do. I think we can have the verified services and we could have the privacy if you want it. If you need to go into a restaurant and there's a rule that you have to be a negative test, have it on your phone and only your phone. And it's okay. Like eMed emails you the lab report. You have it. You can say, look, that's my name. I used it this morning. Negative. And in that case, you'd want something that just is there and is not going anywhere else.